I'm gonna love you.
All right, so how to tie a knot in fishing. We have our standard rod here, standard spinning rod, and we're gonna take our main line right here. This is a very long main line. I wish I trimmed it. That's why the knives are here. Don't stick your knives in the table like we did. This is kind of stupid. We kind of just did that as a prop. It's funny. Anyways, take our main line here, and the edge of the line right here. See that? Hit the line right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a circle hook here. We have a large hook for demonstration purposes. I might use it. No. So we are going. This is what I call a polymer knot. This is one of the strongest, if not the strongest, knots in fishing. What you do is you thread your line through the circle through the eye of the hook, right? Then you double back through the same way you exited into to make a sort of loop. You should be able to, at this point, you should be able to pull the hook right off like that. That is if you did it right. We're not going to do that because then you just have to redo that step. So what you do after that is you take that, and what you do is you double it over. I like to use 2 fingers to double over, and then split my fingers. Oh, I just dropped it. That happens sometimes. Give myself some more tag line. So, since we're here, we'll differentiate between the main line here and the tag line. The main line is connected to your rod and your reel. Tag line is what you're going to cut off at the end. So, let's get back to the knot. We're going to double around like that. Feed it through the loop that you have now created. And now what you do at this step is you hold the main and tag line in one hand and your loop in the other hand. What you do is you put your hook through said loop and pull both your main and tag line together to form a knot on the end of your line right there. I'll put it in the light so you can see it better. There you are. Make sure it's really on there. And then what you do is you take the tag line. Now, there are multiple tools you can use to trim your tag line, such as pliers. You can also use a knife. If you are low on tools, in a pinch, you could use your teeth. Don't recommend it from a dentist perspective, but if someone who doesn't care, you can easily do that. You're going to leave a decent amount of tag line right there, just in case you didn't tie it tight enough and the knot slips. That way it won't fully come off. And if you get snagged, if you pull hard enough, it won't come undone. So now we have our knot, our hook on our line. All right, now that you have the knot tied onto your hook, we're gonna need some way to weigh it down, because the bait that you put on the hook is not gonna be enough. So we're gonna use my favorite weight, a split shot. Easy to use, easy to take off, works, right? So what you do is you just take the slit, put it onto your line such as that. Now, if you have a soft plastic bait or a spinner bait or something of that sort, something of that variety, you're going to want to move the split shot up a little farther, and you're going to tie a little shoelace knot right underneath the split shot to prevent it from falling down on the line. But what we're using this for, we're using it for regular bait, so we're going to put it right down right above the knot, right on the end of the line. So what we're going to do, we have our line in the split shot. We're going to take a trusty pair of pliers. We're going to clamp the weight down all the way. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then slide it down. And now you have a weighted hook. All right, so you have your hook, you have your knot, you have your weight. What also you would like, in some cases, would be a bobber. A bobber allows you to cast out rather than just dropping your weight while having a bait on the end of your line. Now with catfish, it's a little bit different. They are bottom feeders, or they feed in the low to medium water columns. There are 3 separate columns of water in a body of water. Bottom, the low column, the medium column, and the top column. Now, different fish reside in different columns. Little bluegill, little bait fish, you're gonna want the top column. So that's anywhere in this range. Medium column, you're going a little longer. A little longer of a line right there. And bottom column, you might as well just toss it without a bobber. So we're gonna go with the top column bobber set up here. So we're gonna take away. We can forget about that for a minute. We're gonna want our line here. So what you want to do, you want to press down on this button here. That sets out a small little hanger hook right there. You're gonna want to thread your line into there, and once your line's on there, release the button. It clamps onto the hook. Now the top bit, that's the tricky bit. You want to press down on the side of the button while putting your thumb on the other end. That shows the other hook at the top. And what you do, take your line, thread it through, let go, make sure it's really on there. Sometimes it'll show that it's on there, but it really isn't. But now you have a bobber. Now there are different types of bobbers. These are your standard bobbers that you see everywhere. You have a longer version, set it the same way. You take the button, press it, hook it, lock it in, press the other end, hook it, lock it in. Now you have that other type of bobber on there. The third type of bobber that I know of, I don't have. But it's a combination of these two and then some. I'm not sure how it works. It might work the same way. Don't take my word for it. Anyways, that is how you set up a bobber on a line.
Alright, now that we know how to tie a hook onto a line, we are going to be showing you how to put a lure onto a hook in 2 different ways. We're going to show you 2 different rigs that you can do with the same lure. Alright, so right here we have our hook and we have our lure. This right here is called a Senko. Essentially, it is made to replicate a worm. It comes in all different colors. You can get ones in pink, green, blue. This one I have is green, obviously. And then you can get different colors like sparkles in it too. So this one has red and green, or red and black in it, I mean. So this first rig, there's many different rigs that you can do with this Senko. It's very, very diverse. But this one, we're going to be showing you how to do what's called a Texas rig. So basically, you're going to take this fatter end of the lure right here, and you're going to poke it right through the tip of that hook. And you're going to poke it right out through that same spot. You're going to bring it up to the eyelid, spin it around, so that way this part is out. And you're going to poke it out right through there. Conceal the tip as much as you can, And there you have a Texas rig. Alright, this next rig that I'm going to be showing you how to do is super simple. It is called a wacky rig. This one can be used on a lot of different fish. Bass really like this rig. So you're going to take the middle of your Senko, and you're going to get your hook. You're going to put it on right through the middle just like that. Pierce it through. There you go. That is a whole rig. And essentially what you do with it is you bring it to kind of like the middle, not quite the top of the water, like at the bottom, and you just kind of bounce it up and down like that. And bass love this. They go crazy for it. I don't know why, but there you go. It's a super simple rig, and that's why you can never go wrong with the Senko lure. It's been used forever. Super cheap, super diverse, and will catch you a lot of big fish.
Smash that subscribe button!